Happy Juneteenth Eve, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Quentin Washington, but y'all can call me Q. I work in the corporate partnership department, which is also known as a crew. These last few months has inspired me in many ways. And the main ways are taking pride in what I believe in and embracing what makes me, me. My favorite holiday is tomorrow, and this holiday is the epitome of living your true identity. Have you ever heard of the holiday Juneteenth? Probably not, but it's okay, because I'm about to give you a little history lesson. So gather around, ladies and gentlemen, because it's story time. Everybody may not be aware of this, but America has two Independence Days. The first one being the 4th of July. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have plans at the beach or on the bayou for that weekend, which means that we all know what the 4th of July is. So we can skip that lesson. The second Independence Day is what we call Juneteenth, which is also known as Freedom Day. On this day, we celebrate complete freedom from slavery. Some may say, what about the Emancipation Proclamation? The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by Abe Lincoln with the intention to free all slaves. Now, despite the fact that this was signed and issued into effect January 1st, 1863, it wasn't until 2.5 years later, on June 19th, 1865, that all slaves were free. Now, there's a lot of theories on why it took that long for the message to get to Texas, where this event took place. Some say that the messenger was killed during his journey to spread the word. They obviously didn't have Twitter back then. Some say that slave owners withheld that information from their slaves. Wouldn't put it past them. So it took the general of the Union Army, General Gordon Granger, to travel through the Confederate States to relay and enforce these messages. Once the general stated that slaves were free, guess what the slaves did? They dropped that bag of cotton right where he stood, gathered all their belongings, and never looked back. Some slaves went to reconnect with their family members that were separated from them during slave trades. Others moved to the north to escape racism. But we can turn on the news right now and see that there hasn't been much escaping it. African Americans were free by law, but not by reality. There has been many forms of oppression that people of color still had to deal with following that day. Many moons later, these oppressed people of color decided that they wanted to celebrate their freedom, and they picked June 19th to do so for obvious reasons. Now, let's pause and appreciate how cool that name is. June 19th, Juneteenth, genius. The way they celebrated was having a barbecue, or for you Louisiana folks, a crawfish boil. They would throw on their best attire because they weren't allowed to dress up when they were slaves. At these barbecues, preachers would be out there preaching religious sermons. Now, let's take another pause. If we really wanted to bring people together, let's tell them that we're gonna have barbecue at church. I guarantee you it's gonna be out there looking like Mardi Gras every Sunday. But I digress. The type of food and drinks consumed during these celebrations would have a red base. For instance, strawberry soda, red beans and rice, watermelon, and red velvet cake. These red foods and drinks were symbolic for the bloodshed during slavery. Now, through time, the former Texas slaves migrated elsewhere to live. And as they went, the celebration of Juneteenth went with them. Believe it or not, there's still some states that don't recognize this holiday. Now, let's all take a second and pull out our iPhones and Androids and check your calendar. It's actually labeled a U.S. holiday on our calendar. Although it's recognized as a national holiday, Juneteenth still does not get the same level of holiday status treatment like a Memorial Day or a Labor Day would get, for instance. Maybe we can help change that. Now that you have been introduced to Juneteenth, spread the word. Celebrate it with others. How? You celebrate it by Googling Juneteenth events in your area and going to them. There's so much culture and wisdom and history that is experienced at these events. Each one teach one, right? Now that you know, educate the next person, because this is just an appetizer. There's a lot more to learn. So while we are off today, let's take some time to do some personal research. Tracing this holiday back to the origins of Africa, I want to finish this with my favorite African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. if you want to go far, go together. Look at how far we came as a people. Look at where we are now as a country. We have a lot further to go. So we might as well go together. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Peace.